Judge Morrissey, class of 1982, graduated in 1986 with a Bachelor of Business Administration degree from James Madison University. And in 1989, earned his doctorate of jurisprudence from the University of Baltimore School of Law. While at the University of Baltimore, Judge Morrissey was editor-in-chief of the Law Review. He started his career as an associate with the firm of Venable, Baetjer and Howard, concentrating his practice on complex tort litigation. In 1992, Judge Morrissey joined his siblings in forming the law firm of Morrissey Brothers, P.C. In 2003, he was named counsel to the Prince George's County Board of Elections. In November of 2005, Judge Morrissey was appointed a district court judge for Prince George's County. In June 2014, he was named chief judge of the District Court of Maryland. The district court is a statewide operation with 33 locations in 12 districts. Over 2 million cases are filed annually before the district court. He oversees 123 judges and 1,800 employees. Judge Morrissey was named the Judge of the Year in 2013 and 2014 by the Maryland State Bar Association. The Daily Record named Judge Morrissey an influential Marylander in 2017 and placed him on the Power 100 list in 2021. In 2022, Judge Morrissey received the William R. McMahon Award for technological advances in a court of limited jurisdiction. It is my distinct honor to present to you, Judge Morrissey, the DeMathis 2024 Distinguished Alumnus Recognition.
Has my time started yet? Good afternoon. I'm thankful, proud, grateful, and humble for this honor that's been bestowed upon me. However, since the time I was told I was nominated for this award, I've repeatedly questioned whether I really deserve such recognition. Further, I wondered whether my role should be reversed and whether it would be more appropriate for me to be bestowing an award to the teachers in the institution that is DeMatha Catholic High School. And let me tell you why. At the end of my freshman year at DeMatha in 1979, I went to my dad and asked him whether I could leave DeMatha. I went to my dad because it wasn't going to happen if I went to my mom. She was a tough woman. I wanted to leave DeMatha for the sole reason that I had no ride home to Bowie if I played sports. My sole source of transportation that year was Ray Smith. And if any of you had the experience of being part of Coach Smith's van, he took great pleasure at promptly leaving the 3 o'clock, whether you were in the van or not. In fact, Shorty would wait at the edge of the parking lot and make you run as he drove away. It was great fun if you were inside the van, but not so much if you were the runner. My dad clearly didn't like the idea, but he convinced my mom to let my poor decision-making play out, and so I left DeMatha at the end of my freshman year. The first semester of my sophomore year, I attended Bowie High School. By the end of the first week at Bowie, and not to detract from the school, I recognized that I had made a big mistake. There was no Mr. Moylan, no Father James or Father Damien. They're still here, by the way. It's amazing to me. And there was even no Father Aaron. And I don't know if some of you remember Father Aaron. He's passed. He was the disciplinarian for the school. I'm not going to explain why I knew that he was the disciplinarian, but I'm pretty sure he was in the Marines prior to becoming a Trinitarian. There was no Brother Donald or Mr. Marlowe, no Bill McGregor or Mr. T or Joe Carroll or Buck Offit. There were no priests, brothers, or lay teachers that cared about my academic or spiritual well-being in the way that was so pronounced at DeMatha. So I screwed up my courage and went back to my dad, again avoiding my mom because she was really tough. And I asked to go back to DeMatha. Many years later, my dad confessed that he was very pleased with my decision. He didn't let me know that at the time, but he was dreading telling my mother because he was afraid that she was going to say, "I told you so." And she did. So I returned to DeMatha the second semester of my sophomore year. I credit that decision for laying both the educational and spiritual foundation for all the success I have had both personally and professionally. While I did not really fully understand it at the time, much less appreciate it, the Trinitarian Brothers did a magnificent job of developing my ability to critically think about the world and my responsibility to its citizens. They honed my skills in math, history, and science, all of which I continue to rely on to this day. Equally important, or perhaps more important, was the emphasis on Christian values, and in particular those values of service, integrity, and the responsibility to look out for the most vulnerable in our society. Using the academic skills that developed at DeMatha, I was able to excel at James Madison University, then at law school. The moral compass that was instilled on me by these brothers, priests, and teachers so many years ago really helped shape my career as I incorporated these values into first as a trial judge and then as the chief judge of the district court for the past 10 years. Ironically, I had deluded myself into thinking that I was a good athlete, but as it turns out, I fell much more into the camp of mathlete, and so I never really had an issue getting a ride home after school. So it is really that I should be giving the award to DeMatha. Nonetheless, I thank the committee for this prestigious award, and in particular, Charlie Kenny, who was my teacher, my colleague, and appeared in front of me many times in court, and Chief Kevin Davis, who he and I have been in the trenches together over the years. I'd also like to acknowledge my mom and dad for giving the space to go back on my bad decision and to return to DeMatha all those years ago. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters who collectively went to St. John's, Carroll, and Seton. They were the greatest siblings you could ever appreciate, although they did repeatedly tell me I was adopted. No one adopts a 6th child, so I felt I was okay. And most importantly, to my wife, Chris, and our sons, Will and Finn. They're in college right now and couldn't make it, but thank you. I treasure this award, and God bless DeMatha.